Hello everyone, now we're playing Smash TV. Now they were inspired by the film Running Man for this game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've never played this. I've watched people play this. But...
I think it's a bit like RoboCop 2, because there's a guy in there that says, I'll buy that for $1.
Is that the only similarity to RoboCop? Is that?
Well, no, just the whole
game show.
Yeah.
Future thing.
And this is more like what a twin stick digital shooter would be. So the buttons on the right shoot in directions, and the buttons on the left move around.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah, so we're going to get started.
All right. Let's do it. I've never played it. I'm probably going to rage quit.
And I think this came out before the whole reality TV craze hit.
The reality TV thing was a 90s thing, it felt.
Yeah.
It felt like it...
It was the late 90s. It was 2000s.
The Big Brother and... I was never really a big fan of the... Okay, I pressed up.
There you go. So you got the red guy there, yeah.
Mass destruction!
And you're supposed to get these prizes. So it was kind of interesting how it was a commentary. I mean, Running Man was a commentary on reality TV of how if we went to its full length, are we going to be throwing people into death pits? And
I hope so.
I hope so. And then I don't know about this game story, but in the Running Man, it was about they would use prisoners.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go. I don't know if we both have to go through here.
Yeah, running. I buy that for $1.
I knew I remembered something about this game. And I remember in the early 2000s, they'll talk about has reality TV gone too far? Because there's like Fear Factor and stuff like that.
I feel like reality TV is no longer reality TV anymore.
Well, they realized they could script some of it.
Yeah, and it's not necessarily that it's scripted. It's just, I remember when Big Brother first came out, and it was more of a social experiment to find out, what would happen if you put people in a room and we can see.
Watch them, yeah. Would they behave differently?
Yeah, and then after the success of the first series, at least in England anyway, it was a huge success. And then they had 2 or 3 seasons after that. And I think the first season they had this big controversy where this guy he cheated basically. And it pulled in so many ratings that they were like, oh, well, this is a moneymaker for us. So after the next couple of seasons, I completely forgot where I was, and I was walking into a wall. They started picking people who were bad together. They were already setting it up for conflict.
Yeah, they picked the most crazy ass people.
So they picked someone who might have been homophobic, and they'd put him in a house with a gay man, or they had at one point a guy who had Tourette's, who swore a lot and stuff like that. So it was set up to cause controversy.
Yeah.
And so that's not reality TV.
Well, I remember there were. I
just got clubbed to death like a baby seal.
Baby seal. Oh, man, so brutal.
I know, right? I love baby seals, by the way.
Little pups.
I
mean, I think the way the reality TV thought about it is the controversy sells.
It does.
But then if they happen to get along with each other, then they can say, oh, look how we brought these 2 people of differing opinions together.
Well, the first Big Brother, the housemates, they came inside and they all kind of got along, and unfortunately it was kind of boring because they just all sat in a living room and read books and talked, and people don't want that, and in the end it got to the point...
What are you shooting at, ghosts?
I don't know. All right. Wow, that was a dick move. I just killed myself. You do. All right.
Wouldn't let me exit because it's so.
Okay. Right. Let's go.
Yeah, let's go.
Anyway, what I was trying to say is, they got to the point where they were setting up arguments. Like they would have someone do something force people to stab each other in the back, and then they would give...
kind of like Survivor, where they put people under stress where you had to vote someone off.
I remember there being a storyline one time that they evicted a housemate from the house, but they didn't evict her, and they had her in a secret room, and she was living behind the scenes for the whole time. And then they had a bunch of controversy where she could watch the housemates doing stuff and talking bad about her, and then they let her back in the house after giving them lots of alcohol. And it caused an actual fight. And you know, and
oh yeah, I remember seeing. Was this the British one?
Yes.
Yeah, I also remember seeing a clip from like I don't know if it's Italian or something version where this guy just smacked this lady in there.
Yeah, and it causes controversy.
Yeah,
and even though the news were saying about, oh, you know, trouble in Big Brother house and stuff, and you know, when we can't allow this sort of stuff to happen, it was great for them because it was controversy, it was publicity. They were over the front of every newspaper. People were tuning in to see it. You know, it's like a you know, car crash TV. People want to see a disaster unfold.
Yeah, and unfortunately, it takes advantage of people with suffering from mental illness. I mean, I'm sure they vet the most dangerous cases out, but they get people and they set them up against each other, and it can be dangerous.
Yeah, and they vet people beforehand, like they do audition tapes, and they try and pick the most extreme personalities and the most extroverted people that they can find, and you know, and they usually give them alcohol. And
yeah, it's always alcohol in there, isn't it?
So
like the UFC had the Ultimate Fighter, and they would have alcohol in the house, and there's always one night where everyone got drunk, and they'll be like crying and like, I want to bang and fight, and make literally the guy said, I want to bang, and he was crying. And this was for UFC fighters and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, they had good success with the first season. This first season saved the UFC.
Well, and the thing with Big Brothers and stuff like that is it was people from the general public that could go on it. And so these people were looking for their big break, you know, in life. And so they were desperate. They would basically do anything.
Well, you know, all those people that moved to Hollywood and they get there and they don't have anything, and they're trying to find a break, and sometimes they don't.
They don't.
You know?
And that's why the Cecil Hotel probably has so many suicides.
Yeah,
you know?
We stayed at the Cecil Hotel, which is now called Stay on Main.
Stay on Main.
Yeah, look that up. There's been a lot of deaths in that hotel. I mean, it was only like within last decade, last decade or two, that they found a woman died in the water tank. That water goes to all the rooms, so people are drinking like the remains of a dead woman.
Yeah, and people were complaining that the water tasted a little funky, and when they went to check it out, there was a dead body in the water tank, and we stayed in that hotel.
Not at
that time, but unwillingly we.
Well, I guess unwittingly, because we did willingly stay in it. We just didn't know what it was.
We didn't know the history of the place when we booked it because we're poor, and we wanted the cheap option, so we ended up staying in Serial Killer Hotel, which was interesting because you know the thing is, you can stay in all these posh hotels and stuff, but you don't get those stories, you know.
Yeah, wasn't it Richard Ramirez staying there?
I think so.
And the woman that died in the Black Dahlia murder was last seen in there. Yep. Because it's a hostel as well. Yeah. So,
and I mean, that's kind of the good thing. Like, whenever we go tripping, we'll stay in a cheap hotel somewhere, and it always has this story.
It's a mutoid man.
Big money.
I bet the mutoid man stays in the Cecil Hotel.
What is that?
I think he's our next door neighbor in the Cecil.
It looks like Conehead from the movie.
Yeah, because his head's surprisingly geometrical. I bet he's supposed to be like some sort of weird cyborg thing.
And getting chased by a big. I don't want to say what that looked like. It was a big green. It was a big blue. That thing that came out of his pants right then. Did you see that?
He has to get
that thing that's chasing you.
He has to get rid of excrement somehow.
So look at it. I'm getting chased by a big wang.
Oh! I love that sound.
Oh, it electrocutes me. Why is it coming out of his pants like that?
Hey, you only have exits in so many places, you know. That has to come out of one of them.
That's not an exit, though.
It is an exit. What do you mean? What do you think it is? I mean, I guess for ladies it's an entrance, but for guys it's an exit.
I don't want anything of a sausage variety coming out of an underpant and chasing me. I'm sorry, that's just not something really into right now.
I don't know, by the last recording session we did, it seemed like you were interested in such things.
I don't know what you're talking about. What is... I thought he was dead. Oh, okay.
Well, he is dying.
Alright.
Ooh.
I have green shit.
Apparently you're supposed to grab those keys.
I have green shit. What keys?
I just grabbed it. It's like this little blue square with
I'm being chased
keys.
by a big wang. Contestant 1.
Yeah, it sounds like a nightmare, doesn't it?
That thing is a nightmare. I'm gonna have dreams about that.
Yeah, you can't even get rid of it easily.
I'm gonna have dreams about that now.
Yeah, it's surprising. Like, I mean, we don't watch network TV much anymore, but you don't hear anything about these reality TV shows.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, there seemed like there was an influx of them with like Jersey Shore and, you know, Big Brother seems to be still going on.
Yeah, I think it got oversaturated and then people just stopped watching.
Well, anything turns into a reality TV show now, and I don't know. It just feels like it's stopped becoming... It's not reality TV. It just feels like people just desperate to become Hollywood stars, and so people are not really playing themselves, you know. I feel like people just play a caricature of themselves.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of people on there were actors in some of these ones. Well, like even unwitting to the producers.
He's just ahead now. I think he lost his head.
Well, I'm thinking like we're talking about like a lot of people go to Hollywood and they can't find success, but they're casting for a reality TV show. It's like, what? Why not?
Well, I used to see a lot of the people from Big Brother and stuff like that, and they'd have those, you know, before they were famous type shows, and you usually see them in some shitty cereal commercial and whatever, and you're like, oh, I thought they were like from the street. Like, no, not really. They've been in talent shows all their life, or you know.
Specifically, one guy I know about, his name is Mike Mazanin. He was on a lot of these reality TV shows, but then he applied to be in for WWE wrestling, and now he's one of their higher up stars.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. I mean, if you really want to do that, what's going on? Oh, I thought I was gonna have to do the Mortal Kombat.
How come I got so much more? I collected more toasters, but I don't know why I got so much more than you did.
Because I suck. So.
Maybe your continue expired one time.
Yeah, probably. Oh man, you got a super bonus VCR player.
Yeah, I know, like who uses VCRs anymore? We're talking about cassette tapes and stuff like that last time, and now VCR cassettes that no one really, well, I shouldn't say no one, because there's people that do collect VCR tapes. If you look at the Angry Video Game Nerd, he has a lot of movies that were never released on DVD or Blu-ray, so he has cassettes of them. No.
Yeah, I was, well, I mean, I'm not going to say I never was a big fan of VCR because I grew up with them, so obviously I was at one point, but you definitely do see the benefits of DVD and stuff when you have VCR players. Like, when I was younger, it was the top loaders, you know, the big metal thing that weighed a ton.
So, actually, when I had my first DVD and I played it on my computer, it was Life of Brian. And yeah, it's a funny movie. But I was actually a little disappointed in the quality because the digital video is compressed. So around the edges of like trees and whatnot, you see all these wiggly lines, artifacts.
Yeah, and but I mean,
it was better in VHS. It was more high definition in VHS.
But I mean, a movie like Life of Brian, it's an old movie anyway, so you can only go with what you have in the beginning. Yeah, really.
Well, those artifacts I was seeing was not due to the quality of the filming. It was actually the compression on there.
I like how you watch Life of Brian and you watch the edge of the screen. I mean, most people watch The Life of Brian, you know, for the great movie that it is. He's not a style, he's a very naughty boy.
Very naughty boy.
Who's that top?
I don't know which way to go. We'll go down.
If they could map out the way.
Yeah, if we can see. But when Blu-ray came out, it's harder to see such artifacts. So that's why I'm always trying to collect Blu-rays as opposed to DVDs.
Yeah, I mean, I get that. I'm never particularly fussed. Like, none of that stuff has ever really mattered to me. So I'm not really if I already own the movie, I don't really feel the need to buy it again on Blu-ray.
Yeah.
So I don't even watch them what I have. I mean, it feels like some stuff now is so more about
streaming
and digital that it's
Netflix.
not really necessary to own. But I think we were saying before that it's nice to have a physical copy of something now for like people who, like collections and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes your internet goes out.
Yeah.
You know, if you, especially a lot of these American bastard internet providers.
Boo.
Boo. But yeah, a lot of times it goes out, so it's nice to have something available like that.
Yeah, on those dark, cold nights when you don't have any internet and you just have to stare at each other all night.
But speaking of like streaming movies and stuff like that these days, I'm wondering if that's partially what's reducing a lot of these reality TVs, because those are all the major networks.
Yeah.
And a lot of these networks are slow in getting on the streaming platforms. So it's like Netflix, Hulu, Amazon Prime, it's NBC's not really doing much of that. I mean, they have on demand if you buy some of these cable set-top boxes.
I always find that, reality TV I think it's such a successful concept because people have that fascination of watching other people's lives.
Yeah, I mean, I like watching documentaries,
Yeah, but that's not the same.
Yeah,
people love gossip. And people have that fascination of being a fly on the wall and knowing something that someone else doesn't. And so if they see a bit of juicy gossip, and even if it's reality TV, they have that power that they know something that the other people don't, and it's...
Get those money. Don't shoot the money.
I didn't realize it was money. Oh, shoot the money.
That's probably why I got all these luxurious vacations.
That's why we're poor.
Maybe I can take a vacation to Chattanooga.
What is it about you and Chattanooga? You've never even been to Chattanooga.
No, I've never. Well, it's just because of that YouTube video where the
little kid cried because he said he's going to Chattanooga instead of Disneyland.
No, it was the other way around. The parents were surprising the kids and saying like, "Oh no, we're not going to Chattanooga. Right. We're going to Disneyland." The kids started crying.
I want to go to Chattanooga.
And the mother actually got annoyed and was like, "You ungrateful brats!" And I'm like, "This is hilarious." It's like, you just take the kids to Chattanooga. It would save money.
Yeah, I know, right?
But I guess.
Want to go to Chattanooga.
I mean, I guess if you already bought the tickets, you don't want to send those tickets.
I'll send them to Chattanooga. Man, I don't care.
Yeah, it must be a nice place. I mean, I've never been that far east too often. I mean, I've been on the East Coast. Is it south? Yeah, wherever
I
it's
don't know.
at.
Yeah.
That's how much I know about Chattanooga.
It's somewhere in the country.
Very narrowed it down.
It's in America. Yeah. I mean, it's probably it's probably a lovely place. So, I don't know. I'm open to a lot of places.
I can tell you what Burma is, Papua New Guinea, New Zealand.
I probably know
Kuwait.
more about the geography of the U.S. than you do.
Yeah, that's right. Because you live here, so it's like you don't
pay attention.
Yeah, you don't worry about it too much.
Yeah, and that's the thing about being I'm not a foreigner, but I am. I wasn't born here and stuff.
Yeah.
And I've always...
You're a dirty alien.
I am a dirty alien.
From Roswell.
I am an alien. I always wanted to come here, and some people find that unbelievable, but I did, and so I looked up the place. I was interested in American culture since I was very young, and so I knew the map and I knew where these places were because it was an interest to me, and it still is. Like I still have a passion. I would like to travel the US and stuff. So I would so as a foreigner, you want to be here, and you want to see places where I was like in England. Like a lot of people say to me over here, like, oh, you lived in England. Why would? And Americans know more about England than I do. They go, oh, is this near where you lived? I'm like, maybe. I guess.
I know where this place is?
I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of interesting. A lot of Americans are fascinated with England.
Yeah.
I was never really had that in-depth fascination,
Yeah.
But I always loved British comedies. That's one thing Britain does quite well.
Well, people often ask me, is Britain like Harry Potter? And I usually say, sure. I mean, if you take away anything to do with magic, then yeah, that's exactly what it's like.
Harry Potter, no magic.
Yeah, they pretty much say so. It's just, you know, uncles locking kids under staircases, and I'm like, yeah, pretty much. That's yeah. So, but I mean, no, I mean, Britain's a great place. The US is a great place.
Yeah, I love when I visit London. All those free museums you can go to, and you see all these ancient Mesopotamian structures and things like that. I never thought I was actually going to see all those ancient stuff. I didn't know that Britain had it.
Oh yeah, we stole it.
Yeah, Britain stole it. If it's too good to be true, Britain stole it.
You know, they say the what was it? They said the sun never sets on the empire because God can't trust the Brits in the dark. Because we seem to steal everything. But yeah, no, I'm London. London's a great city, and I enjoyed living there, and especially touring to London and stuff like that. But I enjoyed the US, and to be honest, I prefer living here than I did over there. And maybe it's because it's new to me, and you know, there's still so much opportunity of stuff I haven't seen. Like, you know, I lived in the UK for 26 years. And so you could become complacent about stuff.
Yeah,
and you're not looking at it through tourist eyes. You know, you're looking at it through. Why do you need to go there? You live here. It's always going to be there. You know, so.
Yeah. And the United States is such a big place with all kinds of natural beauty. You know?
Yeah, and that's what I enjoy. I mean, you can go on a road trip, and within like a day or so, you can be in a completely different environment. You know, you can go be in the desert or swampland or something, and that's what I like about it. You know, it's just so different.
I think they got lazy with this game. They're like, now we'll just attack you with balls. just don't bother animating it.
Just kill a ping pong balls.
I shouldn't give this game too much of a hard time though, because back in all these 2D graphics games, like half of them had like this boss made of balls or something like that. Something made of balls.
Boss made of balls.
Yeah. I mean, because you kind of wanted these like dynamic moving structures, and it's hard to put enough frames in the memory to do. I mean,
they did what they could. It worked for the time, you know.
Yeah.
So
getting attacked by whatever this thing is.
It's the ball monster. Yeah.
I mean, if I made a game, that's probably what I'd make. Is a bunch of ball monsters, because those are easy to program.
Hey, some of the best games there are. Oh, what is happening right now? What is this?
It's actually slowing down our PlayStation 2.
It's just lag.
It's like, can't handle it. The PlayStation 2 is not as powerful as the arcade cabinet.
Excuse me. That was me having an internal malfunction. I apologize.
You better be sorry. These people are so offended.
Angry YouTube comments.
I know I should say bless you, because my roommate and I, and when I was undergrad, we had an idea that if you fart and you say bless you, it becomes like socially acceptable. So if we start that as a society, if someone farts and you say bless you, that means it'd be acceptable in public to start farting at free will.
I'm not gonna fart on the internet, so I'm gonna hold it in.
Oh, you say you got one stored up?
Give me enough time.
Save it for that mutoid man.
Yeah, I'm under the right conditions, I'm sure I can, you know.
Right.
What are these things even?
I think they're like little, actually look little pinky demons from Doom without the horns.
Pinky demons.
Yeah, the bull demon. Oh, I keep on dying all the time. This is definitely one of those machines I was putting a ton of quarters in.
I wouldn't even bother, you know?
I don't know. I think this is the whole presentation of, like, it's Running Man with these RoboCop quotes and it's edgy, you know. As a 90s kid, that would really, like...
As a 90s kid, yeah. I'll buy that for $1.
Chunks galore. Let's see some chunks.
Chunky.
Ooh, that was weird. Oh, I hit that bomb thing, that's why.
I don't...
In the world. Well, I'm just gonna spam these directional buttons. If I can. Ah, got me.
Just button mash. Hope
Yeah,
for the best.
I mean, this kind of started out normal with people, but I think it's like one of those bizarro dimensions. That's just getting weird.
Just ball power now.
The more you go along, the weirder it gets.
It's pretty much like life, you know. It's just getting old.
Yeah, getting old, you start seeing things.
Start seeing things, and you know, things start happening in things and areas, and
my aunt had Alzheimer's, and she would start seeing things. I mean, and she would see like little girls coloring on coloring books on her carpet for hours.
I'm sorry, that would just freak me the shit out.
Yeah, I can understand that. But for her, she's just like, nope, it's just things I see.
That's just something that happens.
Yeah, it was so bizarre that she was so lucid, but can hallucinate at the same time. It was like a lucid dream, and be so not freaked out about it. But I guess if you have to live with it day in and day out, you have to find some way to cope. You know, it's just like this is my life now.
Yeah. I guess so. I mean, I fortunately have never been in a situation where I've had to experience something like that. But I mean, small children with coloring books, that's terrifying. Dead or not, I mean.
Yeah, those things that they draw sometimes.
Especially when they're like doing the weird singing shit. I'm going to color with a blue pencil.
1, 2, 3, 4, close the door.
Color with pink, gonna cut you to bits.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, we've seen little kids that
I've seen small children
that say such things, like that one kid that we knew that was talking about the Candyman.
Oh yeah.
You know, remember? So the Candyman was a late 80s movie,
90s.
or early 90s, somewhere in the 90s, about a guy that used to kill people with hooks. And it had actually in-depth stories. It's actually a pretty good movie.
I think people know what the Candyman is about.
And we knew this kid that was like, oh, we should talk about the Candyman. Not the Candyman that kills people with hooks, but the Candyman that gives you candy. And it's like, what's this kid been watching?
What's this kid been watching? Yeah. Well, I mean, I was that kid at one point.
Scarface.
I was that child, so
yeah. I mean, we talk about it like, oh yeah, these weird little kids. I was the weird little kid. So, I mean, the first thing I was into as a little kid was The Undertaker. I mean, I was flipping through channels, and it was The Undertaker versus Bam Bam Bigelow, and I was like, oh man, look how cool this guy is! He's like a zombie. That's a wrestler. And I was definitely that weird kid.
Oh yeah, I mean, I was watching Nightmare on Elm Street at the age of 4, so that was normal for me. So it's not. It didn't shock me, and it used to shock me when I would repeat what I had seen to, you know, school teachers and stuff, and they were like, where did you see that? And I'm just kind of like, you know.
Didn't your mom get called into the office?
Yeah, I was drawing pictures of Freddy Krueger when I was in preschool. And my mum got called into the office because I was a cause for concern, because they were like, where does she get such a vivid imagination from? My mum had to try to explain to her that I was, I don't know, watching Nightmare on Elm Street at the age of 4. But yeah, I was just one of the kids that had like no fear, you know, so gore didn't freak me out. It didn't scare me. And I was one of those the kids that the scary bits would come up, and you know, my parents were like, you know, cover your eyes and stuff, and I was just sitting there peeking through my fingers like, this is nothing.
Yeah, I remember. I mean, it was New Year's, and I was in elementary school, and my dad had to work, and he felt bad, so he invited me to go to work with him. And he was a nighttime security, and he had a collection of movies there to if they get bored at night, you know, because you do your rounds, but then you don't have much to do for parts of the night, they'll start watching a movie. And I remember they had the first few Alien movies, and I watched those with my dad, and we loved them. And I'm glad my dad let me watch those movies with him.
Yeah, I mean, I watched the Alien movies when I was younger, and they say these things are not for kids, but then they release action figures that are from aliens, and you're like, so it's, I don't know. I don't think there's any harm in it, personally.
Yeah. I mean, I'm definitely a weirdo, but I'm not a criminal, that's for sure. Yeah. Well, we killed him.
Look how buff I am.
I wish I was that buff. Look, I got all these more TVs than you.
You have to take all them to Goodwill, and they're not going to take them.
Yeah, they're not going to take these CRTs anymore. Oh, look at that luggage. You can't even bring one of those on a plane anymore without being charged $10 billion.
I know, right? Oh, you got airplanes. Oh, vacation bonus.
Well, maybe we can go back to Roswell, New Mexico.
I would.
Well, with that, we'll see everyone later on the next Let's Play.
Goodbye.